Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Sky Sports Golf podcast. Golf's back, everyone. Golf is back. And now the sharp-witted of you out there will notice I'm not in my flat. We're outside, everyone. We thought we'd do it for the return of golf in England, Wales and Scotland. You're back already, but we thought we'd come and do it at a golf course. And we're at Pine Ridge, which is just southwest of London in Camberley. The weather's behaving at the moment. It's very cold though. We're layered up and I'm joined by a couple of guests. First up, Inci Mehmet. Inci, hi. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just trying to not look too cold. I think this jumper will do for now, but I'm looking forward to getting moving later.
I know, we thought it was going to be really sunny, like 19, 20 degrees, but it is pretty chilly. Hey, look, we've been here for about half an hour. It's a great buzz around here, isn't it? With everyone just teeing off, waiting around. It's good, isn't it?
Quite a good entertainment space so far. We've seen one air shot so far and quite a few fairways and woodlands hits, so quite the range so far.
Yeah, it is. It's been very good. And also joining me, Radar. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Yeah. It's a nice summer's day. It's supposed to be 20, but who cares? We're back to playing golf.
I know. I was just saying to Inci, it's a great buzz, isn't it, here? We've been chatting to loads of people as they're coming through. Some people in shorts, even though it's about -3 out here. Everyone's just enjoying themselves, aren't they?
There is. Yeah. I mean, it's a great facility here at Pine Ridge. Pay and play. Yeah, and everyone's on the first tee and you can see the glimmer in their eye. You know, they're ready to get out there and hit it in the trees, 3-putt, duff a few chips. So, you know, it's we're back to golf. And look, to be honest with you, I understand what we've been through, but a lot of parts of the world have continued to play golf. And we are the best social distancing sport you could possibly want. Look at us all, you know, but the governments do what they've got to do. But golf is a very friendly sport, and it's great to be back, you know. Look at them. They're ready for it. Go on, give it to it off there. Go on, tee it up and rip on it, son. You paid your 25.
We're going to try and stay as quiet as we can while people are teeing off in the background, but I think everyone's in a good mood, so they don't mind too much. There we go. Inci, you've been practicing quite a lot. Being a pro, you're allowed to practice. But what are you enjoy the most about getting out on the course?
Well, this afternoon I've got a game with Rob Lee, so I'm looking forward to just kind of having those social / friendly, never actually that friendly competitive games. I'm just looking forward to seeing that ball flight, making contact with the golf ball, hopefully holding the club the right way round. You know, at the end of the day, I'd love playing golf and just socialising with my friends. So can't wait to get back out there.
Everyone's ready to give it a whack. Oh, there you go, the little worm burner.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's still a normal podcast, everyone, so we're going to look back on the match play from last night, WGC. First up, Radar, I mentioned this to Johnny Morgan last week. 16 groups of 4 is what they're going for as the format, as opposed to the old straight knockout. What do you prefer?
I like that. I like the 16, the groups of 4, you know, the knockout. At least with that format, you keep the best players for a little longer. If we go to the old-fashioned world match play at Wentworth, which I'd love to see back, I thought that was one of the most charming events we had on the calendar in world golf back in the day. I love that. But look, a knockout, you could buy a ticket 6 months in advance. And you could say, okay, I'm going on Saturday to watch Rory McIlroy or Jordan Spieth or your favourite player, and you show up on Saturday all ready to rock. Where's Rory? Where's my favourite player? Sorry, he's on his yacht down in West Palm Beach. It's over for them. And, you know, I think we've got to keep them there for as long as we can. I think that match play, look, right now, I don't think it's the most ideal thing for television because, you know, we get down to the last day and there's 4 guys there and that's all we're seeing. We're seeing them walk down the fairway. You know, I love the idea of match play. We love it. But for Solheim Cup, for President's Cup, for Ryder Cup, all those big events, yes, when we've always got plenty of groups on the golf course. But when it dwindles down to 4 players,
I mean, well done to Billy Horschel for winning as well, his first WGC as well, well deserved. We've got to talk about slow play. It was glacial last night. I had a shave twice during that final. It was so slow. There was moments I had to switch off, and I'm not alone. Inci, I'm bored of talking about slow play, I'll be honest, but it keeps cropping up. What can we do? Because it's such a problem for us watching TV, for anyone watching on TV. It was pretty boring.
Yeah, no, agreed. You know, I think even the fact that they're going to bring in rangefinders at some point isn't going to necessarily speed up play. If anything, I actually believe that it might even slow down play because the players are used to some sort of routine, and if they get a number from their course guide and it's a couple of yards off their rangefinder, that's just going to slow them down. And yesterday, I think watching some of the American highlights, the commentators were saying, you know, it's a difficult golf course, the wind was swirling, you know, high pressure, a lot for stake, so you know they understand why slow play comes into play. Slow play comes into play, but I just don't think that's okay at all. You know, I don't think the PGA Tour are very good at, you know, penalising the players that are slow, and that's what you need to do, not by financial fines, because all these guys have plenty of money to not worry about that. It should, you know, you should actually be implementing the shots, and we just don't see that happen often enough, I think.
Radar, I mean, I bring this up so much on the podcast, slow play. As I said, I'm bored of talking about it, but it's not good to watch, is it?
No, it's down to the officials. I mean, are they officialing correctly? And what Ince has just said with the rangefinders. Okay, I'm out there now. I feel so passionate about this. Thanks for bringing this up.
Take it away, Radar.
I'm out there canning for you, Ince, and then all of a sudden, okay, Ince, I've got 189. What do you got in your yardage book? Oh, I've got 100. Yeah, you got 100. Okay, let's grab our rangefinder, shall we?
How big's your rangefinder?
I've got 192, Ince. Check your rangefinder, Ince. What are they doing?
I know.
What are they doing? Now they're bringing in rangefinders. Slow play is an issue in our game, and I thought we got over it. I think the Tour have, the European Tour and the PGA Tour have. But when we went to a kind of foreign ground with the match play, we've only got 1, 2, you know, championships a year with the match play format. They didn't really know what to do, and they're standing there going, well, they're playing for big money, they're trying to get through to the final, the quarter-final, the semi-finals, whatever. And they were like, well, it's a big occasion, and now the cameras are down on them, and we're all just sitting there like this. Is he going to hit it? You know, it's just, I don't know. We sometimes we go forward in leaps and bounds, and then we kind of go like that in our game. We take a step backwards. I can't work it out, and it's not for us. Well, it's up to us in the media to say something. But it's up to the powers that be to actually do something. And watching it last night was a bit, you know, it was alarming. You know, you youngsters, you know, you're onto it. You're a fast player, and that's the way it is, because, you know, no one really likes slow players. It's just one of those things. We don't dislike you, we just don't like you.
Now, a lot of these players are going to come about playing club competitions at their own clubs, in tournaments. We had match play last night. There's a lot of match play tournaments they're going to be playing in. What for you, tactically wise, do you think about when you go into a match play game?
Well, I probably played a lot of match play, more so when I was an amateur. Yes, in like a friendly game, would probably, you know, happily play match play. But the difference, again, like I said earlier, is that you're playing against your opponent. You know, it doesn't matter if they make a bogey. All you need to do is make the par. So I quite like that format. So tactically, you know, you could do things like, you know, being aware of your body language, your attitude, again, speed of play, maybe, you know, walk ahead of them, get your shot over and done with, so the sooner the better. And yeah, body language speaks on its own, and playing against your opponent would be, you know, probably my key kind of pointers. Don't try and play the golf course like you would do in a medal. But I think to be a good match player, we see it in Ian Poulter. You know, he just gets it done. He's such a clutch player. When he needs to make that par, he gets the job done. So I think it's having that inner self-belief and, you know, saving yourself when you need to.
Great example, Ian Poulter.
I don't know the footage of putts he held last week. It was insane. It's unbelievable, and he doesn't know why he's good at match play. Radar. He said that himself in an interview on Friday.
Because he's got it in him. He's
but
got
I don't think
the
you need to
dog
know
in
either.
him. He's got the dog in him. He has. He's just got it. He's just got what it takes to get under your skin. Doesn't mean to. He just does it naturally.
Before the break, got to mention Radar, Victor Perez, who got to the semi-finals. I said last night, he's sneakily becoming a very, very good player. I think he's probably almost a cert now for the Ryder Cup team, isn't he, later in the year?
Ooh, I think the Masters and the majors. The next two majors is going to be very important for Victor Perez. The Masters especially, then we're going to go to the PGA Championship in May.
Yeah.
If he can have one good major there, he really will go up in the world rankings, and then you're thinking about it. But we've been speaking about Victor Perez so much in commentary about getting into the Ryder Cup with McGinley. McGinley, would you have him? The 2014 Ryder Cup captain, Paul McGinley, works for us, and it's like, he's like, yes, 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 and you're asking all these people and they're all going, yes, 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 but right now he's on the fringes. He's on the fringes of that team, because you guys are so very lucky with the European team to have so many good players, but this guy proved himself to get down to the last four with the best players in the world from nowhere. He only won the Dunhill Links Championship a couple of years ago on an invite. And then all of a sudden now, look at him. He's up there in the Masters. He's well and truly in the top 50 in the world. So do you leave him out? I doubt it. He's got that leaky fade off the tee, truly a good chipper. He's an all-round good golfer. Nothing stands out as being bad. Nothing stands out as being great. It's just an all-round game. And as Inci was saying before, that's a good thing for match play. If you're good around the greens, chip, putt, drive them mad. Look, Perez fits the bill.
So maybe a bit of pressure on Victor Perez coming into the next few majors, looking into the Ryder Cup, and a bit of pressure here for the players on the first tee. And if the pressure wasn't enough, we're going to have our cameras filming them, and Wayne Riley is going to be doing a bit of commentary as well. Join us in a bit. Welcome back everyone to this week's Sky Sports Golf Podcast. We're going to get out to the first tee in a short while. Radar's there, we're going to have a little bit of fun. But first, I'm going to talk to the man who's honestly running the show today, Richard Woolley, General Manager here at Pine Ridge. Richard, thanks for having us here today. What's the preparations been like for today? You've had a while off, but what's it been like getting it ready?
It's been a challenge. Obviously, going through the winter, Kevin, the course manager, has done an amazing job in preparing the course. And from my point of view, it's managing expectations of members and visitors coming to the site, and also the communication with staff as well through sort of the furlough period.
What about obstacles as well? Because you're going to have difficulties over the winter as well, especially for the course, but what else has been a problem for you?
Not necessarily a problem, it's that sort of long-term vision, especially when we went into this lockdown. It was the uncertainty of when we're going to come out of that. And trying to then plan for the future, just sort of financially, and also sort of the projects we have on the site as well.
How hard is it also to make everything COVID safe, especially the range here as well? Because you've got a lot of bays here. Is that a lot of work that the team have to do to make sure that's all safe as well?
It is, and that's sort of on the forefront, not just for the visitors, but for the staff as well, to ensure that we're making it safe. Obviously it's difficult because we've got a busy range, so we make sure all of our bookings are done online so we can manage people that are not queuing, and also the bays are one person per bay, so we leave the walkway free for people to walk around. We've got sanitising stations around the whole club, and obviously on the website we've got all of our sort of COVID policies on there, just to make sure that when you do visit Pine Ridge you are safe.
So the real hard workers, all the golf clubs really, around the courses in England and the UK, are the people that look after the course. Actually, that's what Kevin told me to say. Kevin Glazier's here, is the course manager here at Pine Ridge Golf Club. Kevin, let's try and explain to everyone just how much hard work has gone in to getting the club ready.
Yeah, so it's been pretty tough really, this lockdown. We've worked in 2 bubbles pure for COVID, so if one of us was to fall ill, then we still have a team. We've used it as a positive though to do a big course maintenance this year, so we did a verti-drain along with a hollow core and 75 tonne of sand, which you can still see it now because we've had no growth. That's one of the problems at the moment, is we've got no growth. And we've done a lot of winter projects around the golf course to make pathways better and tree work and some new tees like the 10th tee, so yeah, it's been positive. What
about some of the obstacles you and your team have faced? Because there's probably been quite a few over winter.
Yeah, so the weather in December was totally against us for spraying, against disease and stuff. We had a lot of rain and the wind as well, but it is a kind of a positive that the golfers didn't really make too much of a mess with the mud. So yeah, it's been tough all around really, but I've got a great team here of 6. I've got a great understudy in Peter Brooker, so we're in a good place.
How are you expecting the rest of the week to go ahead as well? Because of course there's going to be a lot of players playing as well.
So
how do you expect the course to hold up?
Yeah, it'll hold up well. The 75 tonne of sand has really firmed the greens up, so we've got no issue there. We've got a few course accessories that we're going to put out this week, and ahead of the Easter weekend we're going to do some cutting and rolling just to try and get some pace in the greens and make people having a good day out, really.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kev. Right, we're going to get down to the first tee now. Radar's there, he can do a bit of commentary of some of the players teeing off.
Next on the tee, at the Pine Ridge Classic, it's Dan Steele playing out of sheer desperation. He's been watching a lot of television.
What else do you do during lockdown?
No lockdown now, mate, you've got it. You've got this. Oh, it's a bit low, he's tugged it a little left. They say trees are 90% air, but then again, so is a fly screen door. I'm not sure about this tee. I mean, look, it's a nice pink tee. Good setup, quite strong. Wind out of the right-hand side, hands low. Oh, it's straight down the middle. Bit of a drop kick. That's got some top spin on it.
Oh, that was the most nerve-wracking thing I've done for a while. Thanks a lot, sir.
Very good. Beautiful tee shot. Another pink tee. Look at that hair, Robert Rock style. Doesn't even budge. Oh, he's pulled this. Thanks, chaps.
Cheers. Thank you.
Back to Pine Ridge for the Jack the Hack Classic. Oh, good swing, tugged it left. Seems to be a popular spot over there.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
It's a difficult shot, and that's why the iron's coming out. We call it in the trade the old butter knife. 5 iron, sir? 5 iron?
7.
7 iron off the tee. The hole's only 420 yards, so he's a very strong man hitting 7 iron off this tee. Not bad. Good shot.
Thank you.
Welcome back to golf. And he's using a skittle as a golf ball. Gee, it glows, that ball. It glows, doesn't it?
Oh, there you go.
Enjoy your 125. Keep subscribing to Sky Sports. My children are hungry. Pink is my favorite color. Judy, 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 you've nailed it down the right-hand side. The wind's just died down and it's starting to warm up. So the ball's going to be flying at least 330 through the air.
After about 3 shots.
Good swing down the left-hand wing with a little bit of fade. Good swing. Should have worn a hat today. You might get a bit of sun on that barnet.
I've got the factor 30 on.
Good swing. That was the best 4 today. Every one of them down there in the middle. Judy was the longest.
You got a tracer on this?
Have I got Pro Tracer on it? No, I haven't. And no, it isn't Ian Woosnam's father. Oh, look at that. He hits it like the Welsh wizard. They're a bunch of burglars. Oh. Ooh, powerful. Practice. Oh, go on, we're not watching. Go on, have another go. Don't we all wish we could do that? Start with a 7 in professional golf and we walk up there and just pick it up and...
nerves kicked in.
Who's watching? You'll be all calling me a shredded wheat now, won't you? Right, what you've got to do is just keep your eyes focused on the ball, okay? Much better. Much better. 50 quid.
Oh, should have had my WD-40 this morning.
Beautiful drive, the 180 straighty.
That's right.
Good shot.
And you feared my fish out. The wife thinks I've just got to get the milk in.
Oh, it's another beauty. Beautiful drive. Little fade down the middle. Oh, it's off the toe a little. Bit of Elvis in there, the one. Enjoy. Well, we've watched some good shots off the first tee. A few dodgy ones. Great to be back, hey? Well, what we're going to do after watching those shots, we're now going to have a little game ourselves. Inci's very good. Shh. So's Josh. Me? I'm a little dodgy, but let's get over to Josh and he'll tell you what we're about to do.
Thanks, Radar. Yeah, so we've seen everyone else tee off. Now we're going to have a go ourselves. Now what we should do is a bit of fun. Each of us is going to tee off, and the other two who are standing next to the tee are going to write down on a piece of paper where we think the player's going to go. So, I mean, me and Radar haven't hit a ball in 5 months. Inci's been hitting loads of golf balls, so we're expecting this to go down the middle. Inci, you're first up.
Thank you.
Everyone's been so nice waiting for us here at Pine Ridge.
Well, we've had quite the inspirational morning so far, haven't we?
We have so far, yeah. So, Radar, where do we think?
Inci?
Yeah, don't say out loud. What do you think?
I think this is left rough.
You got your answers?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Now I get what they mean with the nerves thing. Little Cotswold.
Oh dear, that is straight down the middle. I mean,
Right, what's the answer?
We went left rough. We went Inci left
Am I
rough.
next?
But
I'm next,
yeah,
Josh.
but yeah. I mean, proved us wrong so well there.
Was that in the middle of the
That
fairway?
was straight. Couldn't be more down the middle of the fairway. Inci,
Yes.
what are we thinking for Radar?
Nowhere.
I don't like this game at all. You ready?
Go for it.
Brackets. Maybe level. Oh!
Oh, that's it. That's
That's
well in
spot
play.
on.
We actually went for nowhere, but maybe left, which is correct.
Rory who?
You got a tee?
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there you go, mate.
Cheers. Oh,
This
right,
is,
this could be very, very interesting. I actually was shaking there, putting the ball on the tee. All right, you guys ready? you got a prediction?
We certainly have.
You're laughing, so I'm scared.
Wow!
Oh, he's nailed it.
Oh, it drifted in the wind.
I did not. What wind?
Yeah, it's a
Couldn't
big,
have been-
big, a
What
very
wind?
big
There's only
breeze up
one
there.
Couldn't
place.
have been further
There's
off.
only one place with you
We
where
predicted
wind's
guaranteed
coming from
right,
with that
but
shot.
Radar couldn't spell guaranteed. Could you?
What do you go for?
Guaranteed right
Guaranteed right. Well,
without spelling guaranteed correctly.
yeah, absolutely. Anyway, bit of fun there, guys. Thanks to everyone as well. Look, we've got a huge crowd. You can't see by us watching. Join us in a few minutes. We've got more coming up. Hi everyone, and welcome back to this week's Sky Sports Golf Podcast. We've let Radar rest for 10 minutes after that one drive he's hit in 6 months. But the winner of the long drive competition, Inci, she's joined me here on the range. We're going to do a little bit of a refresher for people who are getting back into golf after a few months out. Inci, for you as a pro, what is the hardest thing you find to do after a long layoff?
I think, well, for me personally, I think the first thing is motivation, especially with our playing schedule. My first event could be five and a half months into the year, which is quite a long time. We're normally used to traveling every week, pretty much. And the next thing is just trying to make the most of my practice sessions, trying to be as smart as possible with it. You know, I've been lucky enough to practice, but I've been practicing in a room, so it can get very repetitive. So how can I make my practice realistic? And how can I measure my practice as well? And that's kind of it. And you've also got to learn to kind of draw the line, because there's only so much you can do in a room, and we play this game out on the golf course. So that's where we need to practice our shot shaping and seeing the ball fly. You know, can you control the trajectory? And and stuff like that. So that's what's important for me. So I just can't wait to get back out there, especially this afternoon, and test it all out, I guess.
I mean, we've got a really busy range here. Every bay's full up. It's great to see. What advice would you give to people getting back out on the course? I mean, there's a few things mentally, you know, and technically as well. What would you advise them?
Well, I've not even played yet. I'm playing this afternoon.
Could be terrible.
So I'll find out. But I think first and foremost would be, you know, trying to learning to manage your expectations. And, you know, it's much easier said than done. And it's probably something that I could struggle with this afternoon when I play 9 holes. But you've got to, I would almost suggest people to go out there and play golf for the reasons why they started playing this game. You know, we saw a few people hitting a few shots off the first tee, and I asked them, you know, do you have a goal today? And they said, nope, just happy to be out here with my friends and play around of golf. And so the first tip would be, you know, maybe try not keeping your score. Again, playing for the reasons why you played this game in the first place.
Now let's say first tee, as we were there, you just want to find the fairway. So a go-to shot that you can always do to get it in play, give yourself a chance, score some points, get a good score. How would you go about it?
So for me, it's trying to quieten down the swing. And the first thing I would do is actually peg it down a little bit. And what that allows me to do is just to cover that golf ball impact. If that tee peg is too high, it's going to encourage us to maybe shift away from the golf ball, really try and work underneath it. Our weight falls back, our hips probably go, and we're going to throw our arms out into it. So that's the tendencies that you can see with a super high tee peg. So I'll just peg it down a little, just focus on maybe even a slightly shorter takeaway, focus on covering that golf ball, almost hitting it a bit more like an iron, in fact. And that's what you just call a fairway finder. You just want to squeeze that golf ball out. You're going to expect a slightly lower flight, maybe a little less spin, and maybe even slightly left to right. And that's, you know, that's getting really picky there. But the fundamentals are pegging it down, and you're trying to quieten down your swing.
I tell you what, it's not on a tee, that ball. Come on, you got to give us
Yeah,
one.
go on then.
Yeah.
Should we go for the driver? So I
wanna go
can't
for-
really control my tee height.
Okay, you've got a smaller tee there, I can see.
Well, let's exaggerate it. Let's,
Yeah, go on, let's do it.
Yeah, let's exaggerate it. So this is the shortest tee peg we can find, right? What you'd maybe hit a 3-wood with.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
we're really exaggerating the feels here. So pegging it down slightly lower, and also what I would do is actually narrow my stance a bit too, because as soon as you have a wide stance, you can see it drops my shoulder. So by having a slightly narrow stance, it allows me to have slightly more level shoulders, and that's going to help me cover the golf ball, might even feel like I'm holding it off a bit.
Are you going to hit this 100%? This? Of a...
No, I would say this is more like an 85 swing. It's literally, our primary goal is to find the fairway. And it's going to be a good feeling when we've waited this long. So, you know, a few tips here and there to try and help us do that.
Okay.
So this, I mean, this is super low here.
That is very low, everyone. She's
Right.
talked the talk.
Talk the talk. So slightly narrower stance than normal. This is probably my average kind of stance width. So slightly narrower. I might even grip it down a touch. I'm just going to feel like I'm holding it off a little bit. I'm going to see much flatter flight. Let's have a go. There's a fairway finder.
Tell you what, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't think our cameras can pick that ball up. That has gone a long, long way, very, very straight. I mean, you would take that most days of the week, let alone a fairway finder.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what Laura Davies does when she hits a drive off the fairway. She uses an iron, yes, to make a little mound for herself, but the reason why she doesn't use a tee peg is that so she can feel like she can cover it a bit more. It's a much quieter action, quieter swing, which in theory, you'd expect it to be a simpler movement. I mean, this is all theoretical. So, so it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah, she didn't even have practice, everyone. That was her first shot with that drive off that tee peg, I promise you. Anyway, we're going to go meet Radar now. He's on the chipping green. We're going to do a few tips there as well. Okay, Radar, here by the chipping green. Short game is going to be something that everyone is going to be very rusty with after 6 months out. What advice can you give here for something maybe simple that people can work on in the coming weeks?
Well, I noticed that when Inci was doing her piece over there, so many people were on the range. Look here, the chipping green. There aren't too many people here. If you want to make a score, this is where you make a score. Like, chipping is an art form. It really is. It's one of those things that you have to feel it in your hands, and it can only be done by practice. Now, what I did is I simplified my chipping. Everything was off my back heel, right there. It didn't ever get forward. unless I was on a downhill slope and you have to get it forward, you can't play it off the back. But all I did or do is off that back heel, and to play a little shot here is if I want to play a little runner, the club face is square. That's what we call toed in. That's the toe, and we toe it in. Now, if I want to play that shot, I'll play this because I want to get it on the deck running out like a putt as fast as I can. Now then, if you play out of a fluffy lie, which we'll get onto, I'll play it differently. So this is just a square club face. Back here, well, not everyone will try that, like a lot of great players, but Sebi, the greatest ever chipper, up there with Tiger, you know, both parallel, was back here, off his back heel, and all he did to flatten it was get his weight a little forward and square club face. So this is a square club face, very straightforward little shot, and it just runs out like a putt. And that's a foot short, and the only reason it's a foot short is because they're, you know, early in the season they haven't cut the greens up to 13 on the stimp meter, which I'm quite accustomed to. So then we play a little shot where it's fluffy. Now this is a difficult shot. Okay, that's not European Tour standard, that's not PGA Tour standard, you know, it digs down. But the reason why they are so good at it, I get it back. Off my back heel once more, and all I do, I'm not going to play it with a square club face because there is more chance of the grass getting between club face and ball like that and cushioning the blow. You don't want that. You want to open it so that leading edge whips through the grass. It whips through there, you can see it. If it's square, it's kind of a thud. So let's see, this is a more difficult shot, obviously, and when you open it up, nothing changes. It's more of a wrist hinge, down there and whip it, and it cuts through the grass. Just like that. And the other thing is, you can tell right here, a freebie. You can get a feedback of where the ball has come. Always when you're chipping around the green, look at the club face and check out where the club, you know, the ball hit the club. That's right out of the center. When I was playing on the tour, that wouldn't be great to me, believe it or not, right out of the center. I'd want that grass over there a little closer to the hosel, because that is the sweet spot in any club. I don't care what anyone says, in a short club, that's where you want it. But the shank, the dreaded word, always comes into the equation. So that's for the purist over there on the left. So mine out of the middle, not so happy, but not bad at all.
All right then, Inci, in you come. You're going to give us some short game expertise here. Now this is something we spoke about on the podcast before, actually. We saw Rory actually at WTC last week. He was doing this one-handed drill on the range, pitches to about 40, 50 yards. You've used this before, haven't you, when you've had the dreaded Y word. Tell us why you used it and how it benefits your short game.
So I think for me, I like chipping a lot with my right hand only. A, because it gives me a lot of confidence, and I've actually done this in tournament. I feel as though that the relationship between the club and the body is much more in sync, and also when I return to impact, I just find it much more easier to return. That's what they call 90, like 90 degrees, which is much more neutral, versus when my left hand gets involved, I have the tendency to kind of, I guess, drag it, and then you access the leaning edge, and then it can result to bad shots. And then once you do that, it's very easy to lose a lot of confidence. So for me, as soon as I set up with one hand, I've always done this, there's no right or wrong, but I've always kind of put my left hand onto that kind of inner right elbow to make sure that when I take it back and swing it through, that the relationship remains constant. If I was to get disconnected, that point of contact is now gone. So for me, I've always set up the right biceps kind of nice and connected to my body, my engine, and then I have my left kind of pinky or index finger onto that kind of inner right elbow. And then for me, you can see that at setup, the relationship between the butt of the club and my body is there. And then when I take it back, it's still pointing at my belly button. At impact, it's still pointing at my belly button. And even in the follow through, it's still pointing at my belly button. Whereas my tendency when I do have my left hand onto the club is that, yes, I set up like this, but when I bring it through, because I lead my hand and drag it through that way, it's now disconnected. Now there's a gap, and the butt of the club is now pointing at the sky. Now I've done the talking.
You got to walk the walk now. Come on.
I do.
Yeah.
Right. Great talker.
There you go.
Spin. I mean, that wasn't... I was expecting the stint on the green was to be like 6.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They ramped them up to 13
Bit
on
quick.
it.
I'll
To be
have one
fair,
more.
everyone, the first time Inci and I played about 2 years ago, you chipped one-handed. I
Yeah.
remember we played, and you chipped great with it. But
Yeah.
you've now said you're both hands on the club now, so you're back to normal.
We'll find out this afternoon.
Yeah,
when I
we'll
play.
find out this afternoon. Okay,
Right.
Radar, in you come. We're going to have a little chipping competition. Inci is 1-0 up after the first tee long
Don't know
drive
how you worked that
competition. She was miles past you,
Right,
Radar,
okay.
okay? Let's have a little chipping competition. You're both your techniques that you said. We're going to use them here. I'm going to go for the far pin. Should we go let Inci go first?
We'll let Inci go first, but what we'll do is we're both allowed to pick the opponent's lie, okay?
Deal.
Inci, so I'm going to give you an easy one. Down here in this bird nest, there like that. That would have been handy in the match play over there in Austin, wouldn't it? There you
Is
go.
that enough?
That's, I
Yeah.
can see it.
Might have to get a referee to see if that's
There'd be no,
possible.
well, everyone else seemed to get a referee over
All
there.
right. So I have to use one hand, right?
One hand, absolutely, Inci.
Okay, so I'm going to open up the club face. I'm going to take your tip on this one.
Yeah,
Radar.
good. It's the second flag there, Inci.
Okay, fine. Might even go for a slightly shorter, poppier follow through. Get it popping up in the air.
Oh, I tell you what.
Go! Break!
Not bad out of that
pretty good
lie.
out
It was a
of that
dodgy
lie,
little
Radar.
lie.
Right, Inci, what lie are you going to give
Well-
Radar here? This is tricky now because
So you've
his
been very-
method is a one stroke fits all.
Yep. So you've been very kind and generous to me there. I'm going to give you this little bit of muddy patch with a bulk of grass just behind it. Just put a little sandcastle. Nice
You'd find that lie anytime,
bare
Radar.
lie. There you go.
Do you want to know something, Inci? That, to me, is quite friendly.
Okay.
Why is that friendly, Radar?
Because, well, the muddy patch was fine because all of a sudden she was very friendly then. But then when she grabbed that great big Jimenez ponytail and shoved it right behind my ball, that's when it got nasty because it's going to be very difficult to get proper contact. But what I'll do is just get it back in the stance and hinge a little more and pop this shot. And it should come out with top spin.
Now then. No, I don't think we can give that to Radar, can we? Despite the celeb.
We'll let Radar wander off into the sunset there, thinking he's won that one. But hopefully he'll be back for the last part where we're going to be talking about the first major of the year and a slightly different version of Ponder the Pro as well. Join us in a few minutes' time.
Hi everyone, welcome back to this week's Sky Sports Golf Podcast. The sun has now come out. It's a beautiful day now, Radar.
It's absolutely, yeah, it's been warm and it's, not loud, are we? Well, we can have a nice, water, it'd be marvellous.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's look ahead to a few events coming up. I mean, the Masters is in a couple of weeks. This week, Inci, we've got the National Women's Amateur at Augusta. 2 years ago, it was Jennifer Kupcho against Maria Fassi. An amazing final. The standard was incredible. There's quite a few GB&I players in it, and a few of them you know as well.
Yeah, a few of my friends are playing this year, which is incredibly exciting. I think it's everyone's dream to play Augusta National. It's almost, I bet you almost feel like a kid going to Disneyland. I'd imagine it to be fairly intimidating still because of the undulating greens. But like I said, I think all the ladies will really kind of make the most of their opportunity because that's really what it is. For Augusta, which feels rather overdue, to have a women's event there and a women's amateur event there is actually amazing. So I'm pretty confident that all the ladies will take it, will grab it with both hands and really, really enjoy the experience.
Now, Olivia Mahaffey, who I think she might be the top GB&I player in the field. She was sixth on the Symetra a few weeks ago. She is banging form. Someone you know, she actually texted you, didn't she, this morning?
Well, I'd say, I think a lot of people actually who have been to Augusta, so I've never been, Olivia said that it's a lot hillier than what it looks like on TV, first and foremost. Definitely a lot more slope on the green. She didn't realise how intimidating and tough it looked and felt. It was almost, I guess it's a challenge in every part of your game. It's tree lined, it's intimidating to the eye. The wind can swirl around there. It's going to test your fitness to an extent because it is hillier. You need to make sure that your heart rate's down before you're executing the next shot. So lots of little things like that has a massive play in it. I think for her, she was just saying what a magical experience it was. And like I said earlier, you just kind of take that with two hands. You just have a great time.
Yeah, as I said, there's some good GBNI players in there. Emily Toy, Annabelle Fuller, who won the Junior Telegraph Championship a few years ago, and Lily Mae Humphreys, who also played in that as well. She's an incredibly good golfer. So some good players in there, and it's going to be brilliant again. The final last year was outstanding and really enjoyed by lots of people. But Radar, Masters in 2 weeks' time. I mean, they only played it a few months ago in November, DJ winning there. What do you expect to be different this time round compared to November?
I think we'll go back to the more traditional conditions. It was a little different in November, that we didn't have the atmosphere that we usually have at the Masters. I don't think the golf course will play too much different. Like Lee Westwood was there a couple of weeks ago practicing. It's been well publicised, and he said the greens were absolutely rock hard. But they will soften those up. They're quite a rich club, Augusta, so I imagine they've got quite a lot of sub-air, so they can do exactly what they want to do with the greens, so they'll be a little softer. I think we're going back to the Masters as it was, but look, it's exciting. The Masters, again, once every 6 months. It's a double whammy for everyone. It won't probably happen again, hopefully, but I'm going with Bryson. I think Bryson DeChambeau is going in there with such great form, and the way he played it last time was super aggressive, and I think he'll tone that down a little. So he's my pick for the Masters. I think it's right up his street.
One guy I want to mention, and he's going for the Grand Slam still, is Rory. He's gone to Pete Cowan for some advice. He's sticking with Michael Bannon, his coach he's always had, but he's going to Pete Cowan. What is Pete Cowan going to bring to that relationship for Rory?
I'd imagine confidence. Look, Rory McIlroy's swing, nothing really goes badly wrong with it. It doesn't really get out of sync that badly. It's just lines with Rory. Sometimes he drops it on the inside on the way down. That's his big thing, Rory McIlroy. But it's just little tweaks here, little tweaks there. And we know Rory McIlroy, it's been well publicised. I think we all know it once he gets the spring of his step. And he plays with such confidence. Once he gets that back, Rory's going to be just fine. But right now, it's a little concerning. But we've had this before. We've had this before with Rory McIlroy, and then he goes on at the end of the year and he's lifting the FedEx Cup and shoving 15 mil in his jet. I mean, it's just Rory McIlroy, and that's the way it is. But right now, you're mentioning Rory McIlroy. I know you didn't say if he's going to win it, but I can't see it. I hope so. I hope they all win it. But if he wins the Masters and completes the career Grand Slam that only 6 guys have, that'd be an absolute amazing comeback so quickly.
I mean, look, I think everyone wants Rory to complete the Grand Slam. We talk about him so much here on the podcast because everyone wants him to win. Anyway, your pick for the Masters. We might not have you on before, so who do you fancy? Radar's going for everyone.
I think the obvious pick would probably be DJ, wouldn't it? He's had a bit of time off. He's a brilliant wedge player, which is going to be great around those undulating greens. He's world number 1. So that's kind of the obvious pick, I'd say. He's had a bit of time off. He's got the opportunity to work on his game, dial those numbers in, which he does religiously on the range. So, although it's obvious, I'm going to go for him.
For our last bit of the podcast, we're going to play Ponder the Pro. Now, we're going to do this slightly differently for a few reasons, because it usually takes me a long time to edit this game. So what we're going to do, we're going to play Ponder the Pro Quickfire. Okay, so we're mixing it up. You're no longer getting 12 questions and a guess at the end to guess the player. You're getting unlimited questions, as many as you like, as many guesses you like. You've got a minute to do it in.
Oh.
Okay, this is sent in by Lee Moores. It's 3-1 to the guests, okay?
Where does Lee Moores come from?
I'm not telling you. You're like Jamie Spence. He asked that
I'm
question.
nothing like Jamie Spence.
I know, that's probably a very good thing. Right, you ready? Ponder the Pro Quickfire. First time ever. Go.
Man or a lady?
Yes or no questions?
Man?
Yes.
European Tour?
No.
PG
Yes.
And PGA Tour?
Yes.
From 85 to 2000?
No.
English?
No.
A current player?
Yes.
Win the last 3 years?
Ryder Cupper?
Oh, whoa. Yes. No.
Not a Ryder Cupper. Billy Horschel?
No.
No, he just won last
Well,
week.
this is much more fun.
Has he won this year on tour?
No.
Did he win last year on tour?
No.
Blonde?
Did he win the year before on tour?
No.
Has he ever won on tour?
Yes.
American?
No.
Over 35.
Which tour? No.
Oh, he's young. He's young.
He's young. Has he won on the European tour?
Yes.
Has he won on the PGA tour?
No.
Thomas Peters?
No.
Tommy Fleetwood?
No. Not English.
Oh yeah, not English.
Not English.
Yeah.
European?
No. And that's it. I'll tell you what, we're playing that game again on this podcast. That is much more fun.
No, that's no good.
We need more than a minute.
We need more. Of course
Do you think you need more than a minute? I tell you what, producer Andy got this.
Okay,
in,
we've got another
producer
minute.
Andy got this in 26 seconds.
No.
I know, exactly, because we
Look
all
how
know.
pleased
we know
he is with himself.
We know what Andy's like. So I tell you what, I'll give you 30 more seconds then. Let's split the difference.
Male, brunette,
30 more
under
seconds.
35.
Andy, you ready with the stopwatch?
Not the Ryder
Okay.
Cup or play the Ryder Cup?
Not the Ryder
Not
Cup.
the Ryder Cup, not English, not European. Only one on the European tour in the last 3 years. That's where you are. Another 30
God.
seconds, go.
One on the European tour. Is he South African?
No,
Is
he
from
European?
continental Europe?
no,
Is he from Scotland?
no,
Is he American?
no.
This is impossible, this.
Go with countries. I think countries is...
Country, Australian.
No, no.
New Zealander.
Not continental Europe.
Oh yeah.
No,
So he's a...
Asian?
yes,
Sung Jae Yin.
no,
Choi.
no,
Waffenanand.
no.
Sorry.
Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. That's it.
Oh, but
John-
that's difficult.
Okay, 4 wins on the European tour. 4 wins.
It's
He's one of my favourite golfers.
Yeah, it's John Daly of Asia.
Correct.
Yeah, it's...
Kiradek. It's Kiradek Aphibarnrat.
Aphibarnrat.
oh god, I can never say that.
He got Jazz Janawatana on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
exactly. Oh, Radar, you're disappointed in yourself, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, and that's 3-2.
quite
Lee Moores, well done. I tell you what, we're playing that again. Anyway, we're going to wrap things up there. Inci, thanks so much for coming down. I know you're going to play golf now in this beautiful weather, but thanks for coming down. Great to hear from you. Your tips as well. It was great to see you.
Thank you. I'm excited. Can't see a single cloud in the sky.
I know.
So
Beautiful.
I'm try and take Rob's money later.
Yeah, absolutely. Golf's back. Good to get out on the course.
Happy
Thanks,
days.
man. Radar, again, thanks for coming. It's fun with the commentary as well. I know all the people on the first tee appreciated that.
My
See you
pleasure.
soon. And a big thanks as well to Pine Ridge for hosting us today. It's turned out into a glorious Monday afternoon. Now, if you want to get in contact with us, everyone, you can. There's loads of ways you can do it. Twitter and Instagram, we're at Sky Sports Golf. Loads of news, videos and articles on there with the women's amateur at Augusta this week and the Masters the following week. Loads to be catching up on. And if you want to email us, golf@skysports.com is where you can do it. If you want to contact with me, I'm at Josh Antmann on Twitter and Instagram. I love hearing from you guys. If you like this program, if you didn't, something we should change, let me know. And our YouTube channel as well is youtube.com/Sky Sports Golf. Loads of funny things on there, tips to keep you amused through these times. Enjoy your golf this week, everyone. Just enjoy it with your friends. Great time to be back. Now, in just over a week's time, it's Augusta, the first major of the year, a place where emotions can ride high.
That's a lot of emotion for Dustin Johnson.
That's about as excited as I think I've ever seen Dustin.
Things just don't seem to bother him. I've never seen a player like that.
No fear tonight, 'cause I'm up on a high, all eyes on us.
4 days of sustained brilliance gives Dustin his second major.
Oceans are running, oceans are running. Never felt like this. Never felt like, like this. This is where the feeling is. This is where the feeling is. I know I've never felt like this. I've never felt like this. Oceans are running, oceans are running.
The joy, the elation, the emotion.
This is a dream come true. I can't.